Over the course of the last 6 years, countless players have been banned, including massive streamers, professional players, and YouTubers. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the history of exactly why these players got banned, as well as where they are today. The first player I want to talk about is Kquid, and his story is fascinating. He started playing competitive Fortnite in 2018 and also streaming a little bit here and there. However, not too much success at all. Competitive, on the other side, he was fairly good at, as he got into the scrims scene super early on. As his Twitch didn't see much success, he stopped streaming altogether to work hard on becoming a better competitive player. And in the World Cup warm-up, his efforts was rewarded with $125 in earnings from placing 213th. In the 10 actual World Cup qualifiers, he also went on to earn $800, which definitely wasn't bad at all, considering millions of players were competing. His competitive results improved every month he played, and he managed to secure the qual to 3 FNCS Grand Finals, once in solos and 2 times in trios, netting him a cool $2,000. However, as time progressed and Kquid wanted to make more of his career than a few $1,000s in earnings, he understood that he either had to become one of the very best competitive players in the world, or he would have to make it big on content. So when Jarvis, the biggest Fortnite competitive YouTuber, tweeted that he needed a trio to play FNCS with, Kquid took the opportunity and asked Jarvis to play. Due to his previous success and impressive achievements, of course Jarvis accepted the offer. The duo between these two would go on to be much more than just playing tournaments. By the look of things, they were really becoming great friends, even talking about meeting up and making some IRL videos. But then, on August 22nd, 2021, as Kquid was at what seemed like the peak of his career, he would tweet that he got banned for 182 days, asking what in the world it was he did. Now, false bans aren't uncommon in Fortnite, so Jarvis, being Kquid's good friend, obviously trusted that he didn't actually cheat, because why would he? He had the competitive skills needed to make good money not only from actual tournament achievements, but also through making entertaining tournament videos on YouTube and streaming on Twitch. Because of this underlying trust, Jarvis reached out to one of his contacts within Epic Games. And for reference, these Epic Games contacts are incredibly valuable. So you do not want to reach out regarding a ban unless you're 1000% certain that the player you're vouching for actually didn't cheat. Jarvis went on to say that Kquid was falsely banned and the Epic Games employee trusted Jarvis. However, as it turned out, Kquid actually did cheat, and the trust that Epic once had with Jarvis was completely lost. And the same can be said for Jarvis' trust in Kquid. After the ban and this entire incident, Kquid would try and play on a new account while streaming, saying it was all a marketing stunt, and he also straight out said he used Jarvis for clout. He would only a few days later apologize for what he had done to Jarvis, saying that he was actually grateful for what Jarvis had done for him. After his apology, he would go on to quit Fortnite altogether and start doing NFT promotions on Twitter that would net him tens of thousands of dollars. These promotions would months later be deleted, and he would start working as a project manager for NFT projects instead. Nowadays, Kquid is very mysterious, with his bio on Instagram saying a comeback story. So maybe we will see him back in a space in the near future, but for now, he is remembered as one of the biggest backstabbers in competitive Fortnite's history. The next banned player we're going to be talking about is Kquid, and his story is a lot more strange than Kquid's. Now, before he started playing competitive Fortnite, he would play other games and always get to a high level because of his determination. Fortnite was of course no different. The only negative with Fortnite was that in the early days, the age required to compete and make earnings was 16. And Kquid, well, he was too young. Luckily though, on February 22nd, 2019, Fortnite would issue a blog post stating that in the upcoming World Cup qualifiers and all future tournaments, you would only have to be 13 years old to compete. This was perfect for Kquid, since his 13th birthday was only a bit over a month away on March 25th. Already going into the first week of the qualifiers, Kquid would qualify to the finals and secure his first earnings, getting 192nd place and taking home $100. Then, after 3 bad weeks where he didn't make a penny, Kquid would lock in for the 5th week of the qualifiers, and it being solos was nothing but a massive bonus for him, as he didn't have to rely on anyone else. In this tournament, he would shock his region by getting his first top 5 and upping his earnings with $1,500. For the remainder of the World Cup, Kquid would not do anything too special. He would make an additional 200 in earnings from solos week 9, but due to his incredible performance in week 5, his name was not forgotten in the competitive community, and he got given good options for players to compete with in the upcoming trios tournaments after the World Cup quals. Instead of trios tourneys, he would go on to make a staggering $3,500 in earnings, and combine that with his 1.2k made from solos that season, and Kquid, as a 13-year-old, would go on to make nearly $5 grand in the span of a few weeks. Nothing short of incredible. Kquid would use this momentum to perform to the very highest extent possible for months to come, making thousands of dollars stars every season and further solidifying his name as one of the best players in the OCE community. And then on April 19th, 2020, he would achieve what to many is the dream in terms of competitive achievements, winning an FNCS Grand Finals. Things were going fantastic for Kquid. Thousands of viewers on Twitch, hundreds of thousands on YouTube, and more money coming in every month than at this time, 14-year-old boy could ever dream of. But everything would take a turn for the worst on May 10th, only a month after his duo FNCS win, when he would get banned in the middle of the solo FNCS Invitational, which he was also streaming. Kquid would quickly go on to say that he was not cheating and that the ban was false. Additionally, he would also post a tweet saying that he would make a statement regarding the ban soon. As days went by and no statement came, people were questioning why it took so long for him to post it. Days would then turn to weeks and weeks to months, and the promised statement never came. But he could assure his followers that he was in fact not cheating. After all the fuzz around this situation, Serpent AU, ironically enough, would expose that an undisclosed player used aim assist on keyboard and mouse in a solo cash cup. Of course, Kquid played said solo cashy. Now, this evidence in itself didn't directly point any fingers towards Kquid, but when Serpent DM'd the cheating service about what programs were needed to run aim assist on keyboard and mouse, he made an interesting discovery. Kquid had all of these programs on his desktop. Now, Kquid has never talked about why he had these programs on his desktop, and there is no denying that this evidence makes Kquid look incredibly guilty. Because why in the world would someone have multiple programs that are specifically designed to make a virtual controller with mouse support on their desktop? These exact programs have also previously been known in the community for being programs that allows for aim assist on keyboard and mouse. To this day, Kquid is still claiming innocence, and to his defense, he did get 5th in the Australian Open LAN only 3 months before his ban. There is absolutely no way he would have been able to cheat on these PCs, so in all honesty, there is no denying that without cheats, he is a good player as well. However, with the programs on his desktop, him getting banned, and not ever coming up with a good explanation for anything, I find it hard to believe that he wasn't cheating when playing online tournaments. And it's very sad, because from the content I have seen from Kquid, he genuinely seems like a super nice person. And of course, there is no denying that he has a talent for gaming, but apparently only winning a tournament here and there wasn't enough for him. So he had to resort to downloading some sketchy third-party apps that allowed him to have aim assist on keyboard and mouse. Nowadays, Kquid, in his own words, said that he's just trying to figure things out. He recently graduated school and is on his way to start real life. Kquid's story is one of competitive Fortnite's most infamous, and to this day there are still people on both ends of the spectrum. Some believe he is totally innocent, whilst others think there is no doubt in the world that he was in fact cheating. For now, the only one that has the definite answer is Kquid himself, and by the look of things, even if he did cheat, he will never admit to it. Talking about people who won't admit to it, the next person we gotta talk about is KezKD. Now, much like the other players in this video, Kez was a really good player in the start of Fortnite. So much so that he actually was one spot of qualifying to the New York finals in the very first duo qualifier of the World Cup quals. Now, during these 10 weeks, Kez would go on to win a total of $6,000. Following the World Cup, although he didn't qualify, the placements and earnings kept coming in. And crazily enough, he kept making thousands every month just from the competitive events he played. In the Trios FNCS Grand Finals in the season that followed, he would go on to get 5th, taking home 4K, and prior to this, also making an additional 4,000 in a solo cash cup he placed 2nd in. After Season X was over and Chapter 2 was announced, Kez knew it was his time to put in an ungodly amount of work and start winning some events. And he managed to win his first one during the Squads FNCS weekly qualifiers. In week 3, he managed to win opens with his teammates Avery, Unknown, and Ronaldo. And probably coincidentally, this day was also the day he got announced to his organization, Vanguard. When you get signed to an organization, you get a monthly salary and everything needed to compete at the very highest level. Coaches, equipment, or tailored routines. Whatever it may be, an org will fix it for you so you can perform at your peak. Needless to say, things were going fantastic for Kez. He was making a career out of competing in video games and doing so to the very highest extent possible. And things weren't slowing down either, as he easily managed to qualify to the grand finals of Squads FNCS as well. In this finals, his squad would go on to dominantly win the entire event, making each of them $46,875, which at the time was 15% more than the median salary in the United States, all from putting in some serious effort into the game. But then, in the weeks after his FNCS win, Kez would not play as much. It seemed as though he had accomplished what he wanted to and didn't have the same drive to succeed any longer. The placements also quickly started mirroring the lower level of effort, and Kez went from being an extremely solid player who often was seen in the top 10 to averaging somewhere around the top 500 mark. And unfortunately for Kez, the results didn't seem to improve. Months went by with no good placements to show for, and after 5 months of letting himself himself down, Kez needed to take a break, and a bit of a longer one. Kez took a break from fully putting in effort for 4 months. He could still be seen playing a tournament here and there during this period, but he wasn't purposefully practicing towards becoming the best as he once did. When the 4 months was up, Kez wanted to come back to competing, and he actually ended up giving it a really solid go. But then, even though he was putting in effort, the placement he was getting didn't even come close to satisfying him. So on October 28th, 2020, he made the pivotal decision of transferring 560 euros or $600 to a cheat seller so that he would get soft aim and start placing better once again. However, the period of time he would be able to get a return on a $600 investment wouldn't be long, as he, on December 14th, would get struck by the ban hammer and permanently banned from competitive Fortnite. Additionally, in the 15 tournaments he played with cheats, he wouldn't actually earn once, although he did get some good placements like 11th, 13th, and 24th. After the ban, Kez would of course try to deny the fact that he was cheating, but everyone saw straight through him, and he would quickly give up on trying to clean his name. Kez would go on to say that he wanted to quit anyways, so this was his way of just getting it done. He had no more passion for Fortnite and didn't care what happened to him, his account, or his legacy. Kez is nowhere to be found on the internet anymore, so exactly what he's up to nowadays is unknown. I do need to note that this scandal was surprising to everyone who knew Kez, as he was a likable guy in the community. Kez went out with nearly $70,000 in earnings, all achieved without use of cheats. An org that prior to the ban believed in him, as well as many good friends in the scene. The story of Kez just goes to show that for some, being good isn't even close to enough. Kez wanted more. He wanted to win and was willing to take any risk necessary to get there, even if it cost him his entire career, trustworthiness, and legacy. When talking about the banned players of Fortnite, you just have to mention Jarvis. Now, Jarvis was one of the most influential Fortnite content creators back in the day, bringing in tens of millions of long-form views every month on his various different Fortnite videos. Jarvis was actually also unbelievably good at competitive, almost qualifying to the finals in New York 4 out of the 5 possible times in the Solos World Cup qualifiers, his best placement being 5th and his worst of these 4 being 29th. Because of these results, he also brought in $4,200 in earnings from 4 tournaments alone. In addition to placing incredible in the tournaments he played on NA West, he also managed to secure 2.1k when he was in the UK with his brother. This came from a 12th and a 76th place in 2 trios cash cups in the summer of 2019. Now, one thing you need to know about Jarvis is that he is a content creator first, and understandably so. His videos get millions of views, and as a result of that, he also makes an exceptional income. He knows what he's doing when it comes to YouTube, except for this one time when he thought it would be a good idea to make a video of him trying out aimbot. Unlike every other Fortnite YouTuber who has ever made a video with that title, Jarvis's video was not clickbait. Jarvis in the video showcased how he was using his cheating software, and he also played multiple public games where he went around aimbotting everyone. Naturally, Epic Games was not happy with the fact that one of the absolute biggest content creators made a video full on cheating. In their eyes, it was kind of like him telling his viewers that cheating was okay, so they had to make an example out of him. What came next was a permanent ban for Jarvis, and him never being allowed to make a video of him playing Fortnite ever again. At the time, Jarvis wasn't so happy about the permanent ban, and made a super iconic apology video saying how sorry he was for cheating. He understood his mistake and moved on from Fortnite to IRL content. Little did Jarvis know that the ban would be a blessing in disguise, because his IRL videos would go on to perform even better than his Fortnite ones. As time progressed, Jarvis got involved in a lot of different ventures, amongst other things a crypto scam, trying out as an artist, and of course boxing. Boxing and doing IRL content is what Jarvis is currently doing full-time, and is doing a really good job at both, having a boxing record of 3 wins and 1 loss, and still to this day getting tens of millions of views every month on his channel. The question that remains is how good would Jarvis have been if he kept playing Fortnite? There's no denying that he had a massive talent for the game, and he was banned just before aim assist became super overpowered in Chapter 2, Season 1 and 2. If he was able to play both of these seasons, I'm sure he would have been able to put on a show both content-wise and competitively speaking.